Hat-Trick Hockey is brought to you in part by Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty, servicing Windsor, Lakeshore, Tecumseh, LaSalle, and Essex County. As a third-generation realtor with a decade-long track record of multi-million dollar production, Eric Stendel brings a wealth of experience to the table. With specialties in residential resales, investment properties, and new construction sales, Eric Stendel tailors his approach to meet the unique needs of his clients, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Contact Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty today for all your real estate needs. Call or text 226-345-9199 or visit his website, ericstendel.com. That's ERICSTANDEL.com. If he's got 99 in his number, shouldn't that tell you something? Contact Eric Stendel today. What's going on, all you beauts and beauties? Welcome to the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast, brought to you by GL Heritage, the official brewery of HTH. I am your host, Brett Hedges, joined, as always, by Tristan McGuire and Anthony Gaudette. Gentlemen, good to see you. Long time no see.
Yep.
What can I say? It's all my fault. If you guys like the merchandise that Anthony's wearing, like that beautiful sweater, that nice hat, you can order that at the merchandise link in the description. Make sure you follow us on all your social media as well. On this week's show, the Detroit Red Wings are kicking ass. The Windsor Spitfires are pulling off last-minute comeback wins,
Mhm.
and the Essex 73s have dropped a couple games, and now the standings are getting tight in the
Mhm.
PJHL. Where do we start this week? I will let the senior citizen, I mean, not senior citizen, the just senior member of the podcast crew, and you can choose where
Oh,
you want to go.
shots fired.
NHL,
No
OHL, or
shit, hey.
PJHL today.
Jeez, welcome to the show. Here are you. I don't know, boys. Well, first of all, how's everybody doing?
Good to see
Everybody,
Good.
you, buddy.
everybody's okay.
Yes, how's the new house going so far?
My new house is okay. We're settling in. Hockey is in full swing, so I think it was pretty exciting. It was the big talk around. I think maybe we start with the Spits. What
Let's
do you
do
guys
it.
think?
Yeah, I agree. Let's start with our OHL representative of the area.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So after putting in their probably their worst game of the year against Flint earlier in the week, the Spitfires came back home for a Sunday night game against the vaunted London Knights, and they were down 3-0 in that game, guys. It was not looking good. And then
No.
what do you know? They get one, and then it's looking like it's okay, and then they get another one right before the end of the second period by Elia Protas, and you're like, okay,
Who
maybe
else,
we've got a
right?
shot. Well, we've got a
Surprise.
shot. But then they absolutely just put in a crazy third period and pull off a humongous win. I won't
Hmm.
get into the details. We'll get into that right now. But what the fuck is going on?
Uh-oh, Brett's malfunction. Hey, I was at that game against Flint there,
Yes.
so I was there in the suite that night.
Not
Um,
a big deal.
Not a big deal, but think but it was a fucking stinker, boys.
Yeah, you
Like they
think?
couldn't put two passes together.
Uh,
Yo, this power
Bad.
plays, we just couldn't get anything going. Flint, though, credit to Flint. Flint was all over the puck where they won every battle along the boards. They just were snapping it around everywhere. It was I was there, like I said, 5-1, and I was like, then did someone got I feel like someone got 3 goals in that game.
Oh,
Did
that was
someone?
McHugh. Yeah, Max
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
McHugh.
I was
yeah.
gonna say
Yeah,
someone got a
he got
hat
the
trick.
third goal with like
McHugh.
55 seconds left in the third.
Yeah.
That
So
guy's unbelievable,
yeah. So I
No, that's
I
a
was
great it's a great trade for Flint. He's a great player.
for sure.
but that's why I was a little like worried on it because like wow, they had a stinker and then the next game they got to play London. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be tough to bounce back with, especially against London, right?
For sure.
Hmm.
And they did not start off well,
No.
right? Like like London takes, like they got on the power play and they scored those two goals,
Mhm.
one by Barkey and one by Haltonen. The one by Barkey was just absolutely on a tee. He just
Yeah.
killed it. And beat Joey Costanzo. Joey ends up giving up 3 goals on 12 shots and then gets pulled. And then
Yeah.
Carter Froggatt, you know
What a
what? Give
performance
this
from him.
what a job. Like this
Clutch.
guy, right? Comes in off the bench, makes 13 saves, helps the team come back and take the win. And honestly, in the most improbable way, I don't think you would have put being down 3-0 to London, having to go to your backup goaltender, and then coming back in the third period to
Mhm.
win. I don't think we had that on our bingo card this
Not
week
at all,
after what we
especially against
saw.
the Knights.
Exactly,
Three
especially what
nothing.
you saw on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good. The team needed that because back-to-back losses like that, as you approach the stretch, it's not a good look.
No, for sure.
Not good for team morale either. So
For sure. And I think full credit needs to go to Greg Walters for kind of rallying the troops here. He could have stayed with Costanzo just to keep the game, decent. You know what I mean? He could have, thrown the flag in, thrown the towel in a little bit, but he goes to the bench and he says, "Hey, Froggy, get me some saves."
Yeah.
Right. And he did, right? Obviously, Windsor played pretty well in front of him too. If he only had to give up, only had to make 13 saves. But like that's
we'll
I
see.
want to give him his flowers.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. But Windsor needs to keep getting wins. Obviously, like their conference is getting stronger.
Hmm.
Think about Saginaw. They just added Igor Chernysov is his name. He's a Russian import. His first 2 games with the team, he's got 3 goals and an assist. He's playing on a line with Misa.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's unreal. He's unreal.
Don't the Spits play them Wednesday?
Yes, they do.
Oh, well, there you go.
What's
Guess
his
who's
name again,
getting
buddy?
Igor Chernysov.
Yep. Okay, I got him right here.
Yeah.
6'3", 225 pounds. He's an
Yeah.
oh 05. He's a,
Guy's
And
a
he's
guess
a
what?
late
fridge.
05.
Yeah,
So
guess
he's
what? Now Misa's
and
got
he's
someone to play with.
Oh
yeah,
my
he was a
God.
second round pick from New Jersey in 2024, and
Yeah,
Saginaw picked him up in the import draft this past year.
he's unreal. He's
Yeah.
unreal. He's gonna be their Protus. So
For sure.
quite literally,
Three
same
goals
size.
in
So
2 games. Yeah, 4 points, 3 goals in 2 games so far.
Jesus. He's a truck too, man. Wow.
yeah, like him and Misa,
It's a big boy.
dangerous combination. Dangerous combination.
And he's an 05.
Yeah, look
Interesting.
out. Look out. But
Interesting. I like it.
Windsor still finding a way to get wins against the best team in the province. So I'll take it.
Oh,
Damn
for
straight.
sure, right? And
I
and
guess
when you look at this roster, man, 13 NHL draft picks. Like we're like the fact that they've picked up that they're splitting with them, that they've split 2-2. Like they've won
yeah.
the 2 home games, they've lost the 2 away games, which is fine. But holy crap, like this team is loaded,
And
and
you think about
Windsor
the
is stride for stride with them on most nights, right? Obviously, 3-0 lead could have been crazy, but the comeback, I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
yeah,
Oh,
well the turmoil after the game, like when that last buzzer went and right near the end of it,
Oh
they were
yes, yeah,
they
there
were
were some
getting
fights, right?
into it. And not
oh
only
yeah.
that, um, people after the game, the Windsor account going back and forth with the London Knights account. It's no love lost between those organizations, and it's the biggest rivalry in the OHL for sure. So
And you know
I
what?
love
If
it.
that rivalry is good, that means that the OHL is good.
I
Oh.
would I would love to see these teams meet in a playoff
Mhm.
series. It would feed families. So
It would definitely feed content to this show. Like
Oh yeah.
between London, Kitchener, and Windsor, right? If things go the way that we think that they might go with how London's just dominating everybody else, that they'll finish first, Windsor will finish second because they won their division, and then Kitchener will be third in a hypothetical. In a hypothetical situation, Windsor's got to play both of those teams in the playoffs. Like so that would be a lot
yeah.
of that's a lot of
And Rangers have
firepower.
had a quite a turnaround too. Like near the start, they
They're
didn't look
great.
like
They are
nearly as
fun to
good as they do right
watch.
now.
Mhm.
They've gotten hot, hot.
Heating up.
And it's kind of like that team, I think it comes down to coaching because there's not too many like crazy big names there. So
Mhm.
like you think about last year they had Bristevich, uh
Yes.
Henry Bristevich's brother, Hunter, I think was his name.
Yes.
Hunter
You're right.
Bristevich. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's so good.
He was
And
very
now
good on the back end.
Henry Bristevich is on London with Cameron
Mhm.
Allen. Like London London's scary, man.
Mhm. Kitchener right now 74 points, London with 77, Windsor with 71, sorry. But because Windsor's number one in the West Division, they get the 2 slot over Kitchener, who
Interesting.
would be the 3. Yeah, so the division winner gets the 2 slot. So that's why it like
Huh.
yes.
So they don't just do a 1 to 8 on points.
No,
Interesting.
that's why I want our listeners to know that even though we might be below Kitchener in points because of where we are in our division, we are the 2 seed right now.
That's I don't know if I like that or not. I mean,
Well,
it's favorable for
that's just like the
Windsor, but
NHL, right? With the Metro, like with all
well,
their
back in the
divisions.
day it was different though, right? They would do a true 1 to 8, and I think
Mhm.
they've since like bumped everything around now. So especially with the wild card, it's kind of been like a we'll see.
Well, I think that was to protect one division being super stacked and like kind of crowding out the other, right? So like at
Even
least
still though, this year it's shaping up unless Columbus can oust somebody, which they look like they're pretty good. It could be all Atlantic with the 5 spots in the NHL. You think about it, right?
Mhm.
Because Boston's fallen out of it now, but the Wings are hot. Ottawa's hot. Tampa Bay is around there too. Um, and not only that, who's the other team? Drawing a blank. I guess that's it. But yeah,
That's all that
because it's
matters.
certainly not Buffalo. No, Montreal. That's who it was. Montreal is right in the mix.
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah, Montreal is playing very, very well right now.
Mhm.
When are we doing a road trip up to Montreal
Oh,
for a game against the Wings? That'd be a lot of fun.
oh.
Uh, it'd be fun for the idea.
That's
I don't
true.
know if you want to
Pulling
wear
it
a
home.
Red Wings shirt versus a bunch of Frenchies. There'd be a lot of T words being thrown around there.
Oh, I see.
Wouldn't be too happy. No, from what I've heard, it's a cool experience if you're a Habs fan, but like
Well, let's just
opposing
wear Habs
Frenchies,
gear. Who cares?
yeah.
I don't care. We'll
Or
play. We'll know what we should do. It should be Ottawa and Montreal, and we'll go up, all 4 of us, and Drew
Oh
too.
yeah, oh yeah. I totally wear Montreal gear to that. I wear my I'll get a nice Ilya Kovalchuk Montreal jersey.
I'm down.
Oh, Covey,
See,
man.
I would personally want like a Bob Gainey Montreal jersey
Guy Lafleur,
or Lafleur. Yeah, that'd be fun. You know what? To honor Dave Reno, I would wear a Guy Lafleur jersey for sure.
legend.
Um, we'll finish up this quick chat about the OHL.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry for
Uh,
the
no,
I was
sidetrack
gonna
there.
good.
say
I was just,
when did we go up into the NHL here?
yeah. I'm just
You
gonna
tell me, buddy.
yeah, we're just gonna preview these this week of games and then we'll go straight into the NHL. Perfect little segue there.
Sounds good.
Saginaw is in Windsor on Wednesday, February
Yeah.
5th. Sarnia then is in Windsor on Friday, February 7th, and then Brantford is in town on Saturday, February 8th as well. So busy week in sports. Go support your Windsor Spitfires. Then they've got one more home game after that before this to end their 7 game homestand there. So next week after the ones that I just said, like I said, February 13th against Sarnia at home. Then they're on the road February 14th against Saginaw, which we will be on the air for. And then they're going to have the home game on Family Day, February 17th. So,
Oh,
and that is a 2 o'clock game. 2 o'clock
nice.
game for the Monday 17th.
Little
So,
matinee game. Perfect.
little Monday matinee on Family Day. So, any other thoughts on the OHL before we go full into the NHL?
No,
No.
I'm
All
good.
set. Well, in the NHL, like you said, Tristan, there are a lot of really good teams right now. And the main team that is playing very well is the Detroit Red Wings. At the time of this recording, they had won 6 straight for the second time that Todd McClellan
Oh,
has been the head coach. They've had 2 6-game winning streaks so far. They
Yep.
are 14-4-1 in his time as the head coach. And at the time of this recording, they are the number one wild card. What a turnaround, guys.
Brett, you
Can we
took
just
all
like
my
breathe it in
stats I
for a
was gonna
minute?
say. Come on here.
I'm sorry, but like
No,
those
it's
numbers are so it's
oh.
great. Those numbers are
And
so impressive.
and what did we say a couple episodes ago? I talked about it. I think Eiserman wanted that benchmark, you know? See from that January on where you stand and oh boy, Wings are well, they're the best team in the NHL. Best record in the new year. They had two in January, they had two top scorers in the top 10
Wow.
for the month. 19 points from both Larkin and Raymond
hmm
in the
so
month of
now
January.
would you
Crazy.
s- would you still make a move at the deadline, rolling
Yeah.
like this? For
We'll
what though?
save that for a couple minutes because I just want to talk about these
Okay.
couple of road games,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
I'll
my
Because
ask
God,
I
that
just
in a
want
they
to
minute.
talk
cleaned
about
house on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They swept through the West Coast. They won 3-2 in overtime. DeBrincat gets the OT winner there.
Three of those games were comebacks.
Yeah, let's just talk about these guys are winning in ways that we haven't seen them win before in a
They're
very
winning
long time.
games. The key is they're winning games that they shouldn't. And that is making the difference. Whereas last year, they'd win the games they should, they'd lose the games they should, in
Mhm.
theory, on paper. They beat an Oilers team that was pretty hot. Stuart Skinner played really, really well too. Nonetheless, Wings come away with it, and that's a big win for them because the last couple times they've played the Oilers in overtime, I think Draisaitl's had 3 of the 4 goals. Last 4 times they've lost to the Oilers in overtime, they
Hmm.
found a way to shut down. Even though he scored, Draisaitl, that guy's deadly, man. He is all over it. McDavid is, yeah, for sure he's the playmaker, but man, Draisaitl's just so smart. Puck possession, he doesn't lose it. He's just clutch. He's clutch. He's got that
Hmm.
ice in his veins. Wings shut him down. Primarily, like you think about the goaltending on this road trip too. Cam Talbot and Alex Lyon held down the fort. Alex Lyon made like 45 out of 47 saves the one night. Terrific, terrific goalie. Eisman knows how to find him for cheap too. I think Lyon's making under $1 million a year, so I'll take it.
For sure. And sometimes it just takes a different voice to motivate the group, right? I,
Oh,
I
100%.
watched I watched the game against Calgary, and they just it seemed like from the opening drop they were in control of that entire game.
Yeah,
They won 3-1. They got a late empty net goal there, and Cam Talbot just looked he just looked like a pro,
yeah.
right? Obviously he's had a long career and that's what you expect from him, but it's just he's looked very, very good.
And that game,
And
that
all the
game was
goalies have.
that was their second game they played in inside of 24 hours.
Mhm.
And they won it. And like you said, they looked in full control. Like, yeah, Kadri had a goal there, but like they were in control for the majority of that game. The key is as well, they've called up players who have been beneficial to the lineup. Elmer Soderblom gets called up. Terrific, terrific. He's got like a goal and 3 assists in his whatever last 7 games, I want to say, since being called up. Unreal. Just perfect. And he's playing on a line with Berggren. Those two guys, they played down in GR together. They look terrific. Simon Edvinsson is getting on the score sheet, and most notably on their back end, Albert Johansson. Lights out, lights out. I saw a clip the other day. They did like every once in a while, Elite Prospects. They're like a top online scouting page. They do a little
Ant's got
breakdown
a
of,
subscription to Elite
yeah,
Prospects.
okay. They do a little breakdown of just simple plays. To the naked eye, it doesn't look like much, but then they look at just how, like, they're demonstrative of the play. Albert Johansson, one-on-one with McDavid, skating backwards. Textbook. Poke check, stick lift, plays the body. Like, it's textbook. He is not only a shutdown guy, but he's getting on the board with assists as well. The Wings decor is starting to shape up like what it's going to look like for the next, hopefully, 15 years. Three of those guys, Seider, Edvinsson, Johansson. If you're Swedish, those three are going to be the future of this franchise. Not to mention, we have the best player in the SHL right now, Axel Sandin Pellikka, waiting to come over. When that guy hits the ice in North America, he's going to make Cale Makar look like not as good, I guess. I don't know.
Gonna make Cale Makar look like Brett Hedges.
Yeah, there you
Shooting into the corners.
Shooting into the corner from the slot, boys. Don't
go.
worry. I'm
Leaning
just
into
dumping
a
it in.
1T. But no, seriously, Sandin Pellikka. When that guy comes over, the Red Wings franchise is going to go. Kosa, we've still got waiting. Augustine, we've still got waiting. Amadeus Lombardi, we've still got waiting.
Rock me,
Carter
Amadeus.
Mazer, who just came back from injury, also waiting in the Wings organization. We're set. We are set.
And what's been the
I guess
biggest thing that you've noticed from this team?
They don't give up now. Like they don't look flat now.
Nope.
Like they were shit before, dude. They were just everybody all skating around, looked like a fucking Sunday skate, dude.
Yeah,
Now,
everyone on the ice looked like
now,
Andrew Kopp. Yeah.
now they're like in your grill, like at all times. And that's
That
what I like. And then what did he say? Just play fucking hockey.
100% Ant. You know what it is? Forecheck.
Yeah.
I watched that game the other night. It's not even like a forecheck.
Yeah.
They don't even let their D man get set up and behind the net.
Yeah.
A wing is on it. Like
I
they
love
always have
it.
one
Flip
guy
it,
tracking in the zone,
hammer them too.
and
Like
guys
hit.
who don't usually play on that forechecking role, like DeBrincat, has been great. He's been great. He's so shifty and fast and small, low
Yeah.
center of balance. He'll outmuscle guys for the puck, and it's a turnover. And then, of course, Lucas Raymond. You think about how he's been playing. He took his game to a different level this year. I think
Mhm.
he's like eighth in scoring right now, or tied for seventh,
Yeah,
which is
he's nice.
insane.
That
That
brings
guy,
us back to our chat with DMAC in the summer, right? We talked about how important Lucas Raymond was going to be.
yes, yeah.
Hmm.
Because if you think back 2 years ago, he had a down year because teams had kind of figured out how to handle him after his rookie season. He had to completely alter the way he played. Worked out a lot, changed his edge work, so now he finds open space way easier, and he's so smart. Like that OT winner the other night in Vancouver, where he waited, and a no-look backdoor pass to Alex DeBrincat, who just
Yeah.
casually. That's the thing. It's much like how the 73s are playing too. It's so casual. It said it just play hockey. They're not afraid to make plays. They're not playing safe hockey. They're playing to their limit of skill, and it's showing. 6 straight wins, comeback wins at that. Like they were down
Mhm.
2-0 versus Los Angeles. I thought it was good night Irene, but all of a sudden they come back, lights out, and it's that goaltending too. I can't emphasize it enough how much the goaltending has played a part in our
Mhm.
success. Because if we have Ville Husso playing right now, sorry Ville, we're not 6-0 in our last six, but
No, that's fair.
yeah,
I thought when they were going to go on the Western road trip that I was like, okay, they might split the trip.
yeah,
I was like, if anything more, if you get maybe you steal a point or two extra, that's
Mhm.
awesome. But
yeah,
to sweep it and to look as good as they've looked, like you said, like playing within on short notice and the turnaround and stuff, that just shows that they've bought in. Like as
yeah.
cheesy as it sounds, like oh they bought in and like the coach has them playing the right way and but it's exactly what it is, right? He's got them playing. He's tuned in with their psychology or something. I don't know. They're getting the message across how to play and they're playing to their strengths. It's
Yep.
it's been good to see.
Mhm. Crispy.
Crispy rice spicy tuna. So
Enough
uh
said,
you might
eh?
you might see those graphics coming out soon. But
Mhm.
at the time of this recording, first number one in the wild card spot.
Mhm.
And I don't think that is something that we would have even dreamed about 2 months ago, considering how bad this team was playing.
Mhm.
No.
And it's impressive that we are speaking about how we have a legitimate chance to be a playoff team just 20 games into McClellan's tenure with the team.
You want to hear something funny and kind of sad at the same time? Shout out to my cousin Brandon Gagne. He gave me the stat the other night and I was like kind of blew my mind. McClellan already has more wins in 1 month than Lalonde did in the three to start the year.
Yes, he had 13 wins before getting fired, and then then McClellan has 14 already.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's wild.
Yeah,
Well,
just over a month, I should say. But
I mean, I guess that is um the impact that a veteran head coach is going to have. Like Detroit was
yes,
in the position where they were just begging for any kind of talent to be their head coach, right? They had Jeff Blashill for longer than probably needed to, but they didn't have any players in the pipeline to
don't
to
remind
fit
me.
to let him play and then they
Justin
take on
Faber.
a first time head coach in Derek Lalonde, who's had great success
Yeah.
as an assistant with Tampa, but that Tampa team. I'm sorry. I think a blind monkey could have helped that team win a Stanley Cup, man. Like, holy crap. Like that team was stacked, like completely stacked,
Yeah.
right? And having someone who's walked the walk, talked the talk. Obviously,
Exactly.
he hasn't like he won a cup as an assistant in Detroit. Like obviously his head coaching him as a head coach, his teams have struggled in the playoffs. But damn, man,
Oh well, guess what?
we've
They
we've
made it
taken it
there.
we've taken it from a 3 to a 7 in a month.
Yeah, well, he had to coach a mediocre like LA team. Like all those
Hmm.
years, they were an aging roster.
Yep.
Come on. As long as they got it, like at least it's something to look forward to. I don't care if the Wings make the playoffs this year and get bounced in four. At least we can,
Just give me
silence
some
the
playoff
haters
hockey, man.
who have been in our ears all these years. All the Leafs fans who are like, "Oh, the Wings stink. The Wings stink." Okay. We also haven't had a first overall pick. We
Yeah.
haven't had a pick inside the top three. They
Oh
had
yeah.
two. They had two in 2 years.
In terms of the draft lottery, the Red Wings have just absolutely been hosed.
Did
Like,
I get that right? Was Marner a three
I think so.
or two? No, he's a three. But anyway, Matthews one, Marner three, Nylander seventh. I want to say like they've had good picks. So we've
Hmm.
had Edvinsson, Casper, and Raymond. And look, guess what? They're all contributing. Eiserman hit on all of them, and guess what? They're two-way players. Raymond's been one of the best defensive players in the league when you look at like Corsi stats, advanced stats, and all that. Edvinsson, obviously they split him away from Sider, but think about when you get rid of Ben Sherratt. No offense, Sherratt, he's been playing okay, but
Yeah.
like, and then you have uh, Edvinsson with Sider, and then you get Johansson with Sandin Pellikka. That's a scary top four. The
When
problem is
are
you're going to be
they?
paying a lot. They're probably going to wind up having two goalies making over, or probably three goalies making over $9 million, or I should say $8 million in 5 years. I'll say.
So what's the timeline here for Sandy and Pelico? What's kind of the timeline for Augustine? What's the timeline for Kosa?
So with it's kind of muddied waters on Sandy Pellica because he's so good in the SHL, but that's good for squat. Pretty much, we've seen guys in the past, Capo Caco, namely, although he's doing better with Seattle now, he tore apart the Liga. Then we went to the Rangers, and we were just kind of like, eh. You could call it coaching, call it what it is, but I do think a player can outdo coaching. I think Michkov's done it in Philly. I'm not a big fan of Tortorella and him, but Michkov has still excelled. I think for Sundin Pellikka, Yzerman's very patient. We're still doing good without him. I don't know. There's a world where he starts if we make the playoffs this year, and there's a world where he plays all of next year in Grand Rapids. It really is up to the development club. Augustine, I'm going to say, is still more, um, at least one more year, like in a pro setting like AHL, if
Yep.
not two, especially if we have Kosa
Mhm.
and we keep, let's say, Lyon to kind of mentor Kosa while Kosa's kind of playing, let's say, 25, 30 games a year, and
Mhm.
Lyon takes the rest. Then you ease Kosa into that starting position, and then Augustine comes up and competes. I would say that's the timeline. So probably Kosa is probably about next year. I think he makes the roster.
Yeah.
Um, and Augustine, I'll say 2 to 3 years down the road
Okay.
before he's
That's what I,
playing anything more than 3 games a season.
yeah, I figured Kosa was well, he's got a big jump ahead of Augustine in terms of development in the pro setting.
Yeah,
Augustine's been playing at MSU, right? So there's no
yeah.
he doesn't need to go
And
play
this is
games.
Kosa's third year pro. So,
Mhm.
right.
And he did very well in ECHL. I wanted to go down there and check out one of their games. It just never happened, but like the
UCHL
Toledo
is
role.
quite the development league for goaltenders. You think a couple of years back, so I don't want to get too hopeful here, but we're very similar to the 2019 Blues. They were dead last by the Christmas break,
Hmm.
and then they come back and win the cup. I'm not saying we're going to win a cup, but we were in a similar situation, and guess what happened? They called up Jordan Bennington all the way from the ECHL. He put up like a 930 to close out the regular season, and then like a 940 in the playoffs. He was absolutely unreal.
Yeah, that team was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Classic like Ryan O'Reilly hockey. Like he was
Petrangelo was in there.
yeah.
Tarasenko was unreal. I
Hmm.
what was his name? Braden Shen was really
Shen.
good. Jaden Schwartz. That was a legit roster.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was
A lot of Canadians on
Greg
there.
Berube.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Craig Berube. Yep.
Hmm.
Don't
So
expect them to do much with the Leafs though. But
Just has to get that one last shot in there.
it's all right.
that's good. Any other NHL thoughts before we go to PJHL and the other
Oh,
news you guys want to talk about?
yeah. So I wanted to ask this question. I was going to save it at the end of the show, but I figured might as well ask it right now. I saw it posed online the other day by a couple different pages. So obviously, Anthony Davis was just traded for Luka Doncic, which is like
Wild.
earth-shattering trade, one of the biggest trades in NBA history, if not the biggest. Who would you say, it can be any time in your lifetime, who would you say this is an equivalent trade to in NHL terms?
Ant, go ahead.
Well, it would have to involve Gretzky kind of ish. Like,
That's
uh,
where you're.
Gretzky in this situation.
no, I mean, like, what
So
trade
you're
do
saying
I
one of these
think?
two is the greatest of all time?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Well,
So
you're talking about that
what? So
level of
what you're
player.
asking me is
like,
what trade in NHL
yeah,
like
who would it
history do
be
I think
for,
matches up to that one?
Superstars.
yeah,
Hmm, that's a great question, actually.
I know that's
Shit.
what I was saying. I was like, I
There's
think I
been
nailed it down in my head to a couple scenarios, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, tell us your like third scenario, and then you can tell us your best one.
My third
Well,
scenario?
like you said, you've got a couple of different ones, so I don't
Yeah,
want to take
so
your best
okay, I'll
one.
say a third scenario. So, oh,
I mean, I'm thinking of like
so they're both forwards because it's basketball, but I'm thinking in forward terms, it'd be like Jack Hughes. This is my number three spot. Jack Hughes for someone who's a little bit past their prime.
I mean, this would be like I don't know, like Leon Draisaitl getting
Yes,
traded for
Jack
like
Hughes for Leon Draisaitl. That's what I'll
yeah.
say. Yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty fair. Like yeah,
yeah.
because Jack Hughes is really good. Yeah.
Because Draisaitl being Davis in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Like I can't it's
But
hard to tell. It's hard
Marner
to,
and fucking hey, who did you
ooh, yeah,
say?
like
Marner
Austin
and
Matthews
who?
getting traded for
Off the air,
like
Tristan. Who did you say from the Canucks? I believe. Who did you say? Marner and who?
Hughes or
Pedersen?
Pedersen.
Yes, because you
Oh, I
said they
did
were
say that
kind of.
too.
You
I
did.
didn't even talk about that. I said
Yeah,
that
that's a good one.
in real life though, I said that's a trade that I could see happening. Like
Mhm.
it would be world shattering, but like you said, Marner doesn't have a contract. Pedersen's an RFA. Why not? There are many reasons as to why not. I'm just saying that's the value it would take. But Brett, I want to hear yours.
I was thinking that like Anthony Davis, he was a former first overall pick. So I would go that like Austin Matthews would be Anthony Davis
Ooh.
and Luka Doncic would be like someone that gets like not like I want to say like someone that's like really good like Wyatt Johnston, but like Wyatt's not in the same like money range. Like I
Because
want
would
like
you
a
think?
super
Answer me this: do you think Anthony Davis was ever the best player in the league?
no, because LeBron James has been in the league the entire time.
Exactly. So he's always going to be that number two guy. Or
Yeah.
he was probably top five for a couple years
Trying to
anyway.
think who would
100%.
be
No,
a good
yeah.
one
Yeah.
to
The only
match
reason
up
why
with
he wasn't the best player in the league is because LeBron James is in the league. But
Yeah. And I'd even
Matthews.
argue like in recent years, Luka Doncic and he's won a couple MVPs there. Who's the big
Jokic,
yes, yeah. Big Serb.
What about Kale
Or
McCarr for Austin Matthews? What would
that's a
that be?
that's perfect.
see, that's the tricky thing though, because
Or McKinnon.
Davis is old.
Yeah,
I would say McKinnon for Crosby, but it's hard to say that because Crosby was at one point the best player in the league. So you would also have to say, how about this? McKinnon for prime Pavel Datsuk, or just past his prime. We'll say 2015 Pavel Datsuk for McKinnon.
What about McKinnon for Ovi? Well, because Ovi is chasing the all-time
Ooh,
rank,
ooh, ooh,
right?
I like that one. Yes,
Like
because he's old and grizzled. And
right, but
Ovi
he's
was
one of the best of all
never,
time.
yeah, Ovi was, I would say probably like 2017 to 2018 was when Ovi was kind of like, oh, even then, that's still kind of Crosby's the guy, right? And McDavid's coming in.
Hmm.
Do you think Alex Ovechkin has ever legit been the best player in the league?
I mean, between him and Crosby, I'm sure it was 1A, 1B for the longest time. I'm sure I'm sure one of those years he outperformed Sid one of those years,
But
right?
even like, I think that's a perfect comparison because I would never consider Ovechkin number one. And I think very few years was he number two because
Yeah.
he's kind of been like Pavel Datsuk was unreal. You think
Yeah.
even Evgeny Malkin was unreal. Yeah, I think Ovechkin has just been so consistent. That's why we see his goal totals where it is. This was a
I
fun
mean,
question. I'm
Yeah,
glad I asked it.
like same franchise too, Ovechkin, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
was on some pretty bad Washington teams for a long time, right? And he
yeah,
carried those teams by pumping 50 goals a year. But yeah, that's a great yeah, so like yeah, Doncic and Davis is like McKinnon for Ovechkin, in our
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
That's about as close as you're
Which
gonna get.
now though it's a little bit that trade wouldn't happen
No,
because like, well,
because superstars don't
guess
get
what?
moved.
Guess what? That wouldn't happen in the NBA. We're living in the like, okay, if you believe in string theory and all this alternate universes, we're living in the 1 in like 10 quadrillion chance that this trade happens. And guess what? That's the timeline we're in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of people are
it
raking the
rocks
Dallas GM
sports.
over the coals, but
Like I saw a meme that people were like, this is like the spreading of the word of this is on par with Paul Revere telling everyone about the Redcoats.
the British are coming.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
British are here.
It's
That's
on the
funny.
same
My
level
God.
of, oh my gosh, you
Well,
gotta spread
because
the word.
I had to do the University of Windsor's game on the Saturday night, and so I went for a beer after, and I looked at my phone like, and I saw the news, and I thought it was like The Onion was reporting this or something, you know, like I did
Yeah,
not believe that that trade
spoof.
was happening, and I was like, I read it again the next day, and I was like, that's real,
And
that's 100% real.
it's a trade that makes no
Mhm.
sense to me.
No, oh
You
well,
tr like you trade away Luka Doncic, who is like the upcoming guy
A
to like carry the
cornerstone of your
future of the
franchise.
NBA.
well,
Yeah, he is their franchise, bro.
I think that this tells me that LeBron James is going to retire soon. That if they're going to want to bring in Luka Doncic to kind of be the guy in LA,
That's true. And
this might like one.
honestly,
This might like this
LA,
year.
there has to be some sort of monetary deal here because I just don't understand like how this trade happens. How do you
Yeah.
pick up the phone and get Luka Doncic out of the hands of the Dallas Mavericks?
Well, another
It
thing
doesn't
too is
happen.
that Texas is a no tax state,
Ooh.
right? Like if you wouldn't if you'd rather like Wyatt Johnson has to be loving life because he's living in Texas making that money and not having to
Yeah,
give it back up.
and then Doncic has to go to one of the highest tax states.
That's what I mean. Like that's a huge swing. And
Yeah.
now because he was traded, he like Doncic is not eligible for a supermax deal too. Like it messes a whole lot of things up.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's getting the short end of the stick there.
Yeah, so we'll see. Did you
Oh, there
see
was
there
another
was
big
like
trade in the NHL. There was a big trade in the NHL. We didn't even talk about it. And
uh
I'm drawing a blank on it.
well
It was someone from Colorado.
oh Rantanen.
Yes, Mikko Rantanen goes to
Yeah.
Carolina. We didn't even just skimmed right over that.
Yeah. How the
Yeah.
fuck did we do
Taylor
that?
Hall goes to Carolina too.
Because I remember Eric Johnson posted on Twitter and he goes, I just fell on my knees in a Walmart or something like that.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't believe that they just let him go like that. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Like that's if you're like
That's a
okay,
50 goal guy.
Marty Necas was in the running for Hart Trophy. Like,
Hmm.
hey, there's your comparison for Doncic. It's Marty Necas for Mikko Rantanen.
There you
But
go.
it's I Marty Necas playing with McKinnon is going to be the scariest thing the
Hmm.
league has seen for the next 10 years. Marty Necas is one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. Like year after year, when they say measured top speeds, like bursts, Marty Necas is one, two, or three, or maybe all three. He's so fast, his acceleration. Same with McKinnon. Like they're going to be deadly together. Rantanen, one of the best shooters in the league, goes to Carolina. Carolina might as well just sign off on making the Eastern Conference final right now because it's going to happen. Whether they can get over that hump and go to the Cup final, we'll see. Can Freddie Anderson stay healthy? And if not, can Pavel Kochetkov come out of nowhere, right? So we'll see.
We
Hmm.
will see
Yep.
indeed.
Yeah, I
Any
couldn't
other
believe that
NHL
shit.
thoughts?
That was crazy.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry, I finished your thought. Yeah, I because like we said, we you don't see trades like this anymore.
No,
You don't see
no,
big
and
name
I love it.
players go.
I love it. There's a shift in the NHL right now, and I think it has a lot to do with that cap rising.
Yep.
Um, teams aren't made to afraid. There we go, Tristan. Aren't afraid to make these moves, and it's we're gonna start seeing it happen a lot more often. This is like we're still a month and a half ahead of the deadline when that trade's made. Like, is it first week in March?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah, because I think
Well,
I'm just always finishing reading week, and then it's like, oh, trade deadline,
yes, I believe it's March 6th this year.
and that's when I lock in on the old EA NHL.
Yeah.
Get my predictions
That's
cooking.
what I'm trying. Yeah. Tristan's in his room, like, all right, let's figure this out.
I have books from when I was like 13 years old predicting the Wings' future. Those were dark days. I had Martin Firk scoring 50 goals last year or something. I remember being a kid, like, yeah, Marty Firk. I thought he was the future of our franchise.
That's funny.
Yeah,
You look back in the diaries, like, Dear Diary, I really think that Anthony Mantha is going to be the difference for the Detroit Red Wings.
you just like don't even get me started on Philip Zadina, dude. When Philip
Look at
Zadina was
his
drafted,
face.
I was jumping all around, like freaking out. He's the future of our franchise. I remember he scored his first goal, a bomb of a one-timer versus Colorado, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's sealing the deal. Like he's our next Sergei
Mike
Fedorov,
Bossy.
or he was who was the guy there? All those he scored 5 goals for the Wings in one game.
Fedorov.
No, the guy that Mike Babcock like terrorized that he has
Franzen?
PTSD now. Yes, Johan
Yes.
Franzen.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Bad
Moose.
side note
You
there,
know.
but
Yeah.
what a terrible human being. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Dude, okay. Before we go, I randomly
Well, we've
143.
got to do the 73s. What do you mean before we
No, no,
go?
no. Sorry. I was talking about this thing I was talking about in the group chat. And I was listening to whatever in the morning, and then all of a sudden on my feed, randomly 143 of hat trick hockey pops up, and I'm listening to Tristan and Ant talk in like the summer of 2023 about all these random things happening, and then it talks about you guys talked about Mike Babcock getting signed by Columbus, and Tristan's just ripping the decision as soon as it happens, and he's like, Lee, what are you guys doing? This guy's a fossil. Get him out of here. I can't wait. No, what you said was I can't wait for when they fire him 6 months from now is what you
Actually?
said. You said that I can't wait until they fire him 6 months from now. And
And
you were there, and you all yeah, it
Yeah,
was
well, it
very
took
good.
about 1 month, but
Yeah. What I just thought that was super funny that you
he went
guys
through
are
Boone Jenner's phone.
yeah.
He's like, let me have a look, buddy.
that's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
I just wanted to get that out there. I thought that was super funny. And at the
Yeah.
same time, we talked about Anthony's vasectomy on 143.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, we've
And we
done
talked
that
about
too.
Tristan's fishing trip up north.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
We
right.
talked about how
Mm.
the fish up north had a better color. That's what they were darker or something. That's why you liked a better or something. I don't know. You're talking
Did
about
I
the
say
color of
that?
these fish and how they're
Brett was
talking
going
about these
back
like
in
fishing
Oh,
stuff.
they are
time.
beautiful. They are beautiful. Around here, fish are ugly. They're all
That's what you
pale.
were saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brett was digging
the
into
fish
the
around here are no
archives.
good.
I
You're like
love it.
it's worth the 12-hour drive because the fish have nice colors up there. And Ant's like, what? Like,
Anthony wouldn't know.
yeah, you're talking about yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there. I thought that was pretty funny. So.
Yeah.
In the PJHL, the Essex 73s had a lot of games since our last recording.
Yeah, and a couple
Um,
losses.
yeah, a couple losses. They lost. I thought that we were going to spend a lot of time talking about the loss to Amherstburg in the shootout, that 3-2 game on Saturday, January 25th, the game that I invited Tristan to and then told him I wasn't going to go to.
He goes, Tristan, what are you doing Saturday night? I was like, I think I can make it. And Brett's like, oh, good, because I'm not going.
I'm
I
sorry.
was like, dude, that was the biggest like
But
jumble up of emotions in my life. I was like, what?
I was like, yeah, because I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, I can go. And then I realized like, oh, that's my wife's birthday. I cannot do that at all. I'm
Tough go.
sorry. But anyway, I thought I was going to spend a lot of time talking about them, dropping a point to Amherstburg and like how big of a game that would be for Amherstburg. But that was before Johnny Chartrand decided to drop a 65 save performance, and the Moortown Flags take a 2-1 win over Essex. Obviously, a humongous win for Moortown, and I think this just cements Johnny Chartrand's legacy as the Moortown Flag legend, right?
Yeah, well, they should honestly, and this is respect all the people who have their number retired in Moortown. But if
Mhm.
John Chartrand isn't on this team for the whatever 4 years he's been with the club, maybe next year as well, he needs to like get his jersey retired. If he's not there, they probably don't finish above 500.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't. It doesn't happen. That's full respect to the Moortown Flags organization. I'm saying this, good for you guys for signing that goalie because that kid is all character, all heart, and never gives up. 2-1 win, 65 saves. Who won that game? The Moortown Flags or John Chartrand?
Johnny Moortown.
Yeah, Johnny Moortown. You better believe it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And
Well,
now
I
look
mean,
at he's helping the Flags. They're gunning for third.
mhm.
These other
Yeah.
teams have a tough finishing schedule. Moortown won a game they shouldn't have won.
And,
That is
and
the key here.
for sure. And that win puts them at 40 points on the year, and Amherstburg's at 41, and Wheatley's at 41 as well. So literally that win
Hmm.
puts them in contention. You know what I mean?
And guess what? If they get third, I'd hate to be Lakeshore sitting on the opposite side of John Chartrand in a 7-game series in the semis, assuming they win the quarterfinal. Which then
Right?
again, no one promises because they could be playing
Dude.
Blenheim. If Blenheim falls down to 6, who knows, right? So
That's true. So, and but Blenheim is right there too at 38 points, but Blenheim does have the most games played in the entire
yeah,
division at
Blenheim would
30.
Blenheim would have to win out, and the other teams would have to drop a game
Hmm.
for them to get that third.
It's a very crucial time of the year. Only 3 games left for the Essex 73s. They do go on the road and beat Blenheim the next night,
Yeah,
7-3,
luckily,
but they were down 2-0 in that game before they got themselves a
yeah.
big win there. But
Alex, Brody Fraley, and Alex Simpson score, make it a 2-0 game. Essex out shooting them once
Mhm.
again. Lemieux, goalie, he's pretty good. He's been there a long time. I think they've had the same duo for a while, Van Coyley and Lemieux. Lemieux does a good job, but then Essex rips off 5 goals in the second period. Just Tony Porowski said, "I'm tired of this crap. Get out there." And they did. They did. Austin Gouvermont stays hot. He's been unreal.
Yeah.
Uh, the
He had a
I believe for the
7-point
first
night,
time
didn't
since
he? Or 6-point night?
2017, we have a player with over 70 points. It is Patrick McManus. He's at 72 right now. I believe he's also fifth in league scoring.
Yeah, he's 5th in the league.
Yeah, behind Trevor LaRue. Um,
big crowd in Blenheim on Sunday night too. It says here on the site that it was 473 people there at the Blenheim Memorial Arena.
I think
you
it
know
was
what?
over Ager night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That would
and
make sense.
Blenheim is one of the coldest rinks when you first walk in, but within minutes, it feels like you're in Honolulu. Good Lord, they have these space heaters that if they were a couple inches closer, I'd come out looking like
Singed.
fried chicken, man. It was like, it is hot. It is hot. Ask my dad too. Like we sat there one time and my dad's like, "Oh, these will warm up nice." We had to move. It was like a George Foreman grill right in your face. Like it was so hot.
Getting
Like
crispy.
Tristan. Crispy
But
Tristan.
I'd rather be exactly. I'd rather be in that scenario than too cold, right?
For sure.
So
Right.
it's a good infrastructure there. They also have
Mhm.
this absolutely insufferable mascot you want to punch in the face every time you see him. His name's Brutus Blade. It looks like Gritty from Philadelphia, and he's red, and he's got this great big band of a tummy inside, and he goes like this with it all the time, right up in your face. And I'll never forget the one time, the most mad I've ever been leaving a junior C game, even after Essex loses game 7. I'm leaving Blenheim after Blenheim waxed Essex like 5-1. And I was so mad. And Brutus Blade goes to give me a fist bump, and then he goes like this, and I was like, it was about to be on, man. I couldn't because he saw I was wearing an Essex shirt, and he was like, he just goes for a fist bump and goes like that. I was like,
Oh,
my dad's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth
Oh, I
it.
would have put my welding
No.
glasses on.
it's not worth it.
It was a,
Chris
it
is
was
Just so
a
gonna
you know,
replace the
Brutus
mascot
pumped
in
your eyes.
Blenheim.
yeah, I would have made Sportsnet An
Oh,
Essex man is now charged after getting into a fisticuffs with
Or
Brutus
it's
Blade. No
Brutus
good.
Blade has spent the night in the Blenheim Clink for just absolutely manhandling a young child outside of the Blenheim
No,
gate.
whoever was in the Brutus Blade costume too was about like 6'4" and 3 bills. This guy was terrifying. I was like, I still wanted to wheel him one though. But credit to him, he does his job. He gets the other team, he gets in their head.
That's true for sure. That's his job.
Brutus
Quick
Blade.
question.
Yeah,
All 8 teams make playoffs or just top six?
all eight.
All 8 teams.
It
So
used to be one team wouldn't make it because Essex had nine in their division. We used to have Petrolia.
yeah,
But they're winning their division right now.
they are.
Uh,
They're number one in the YEC division.
yeah,
They're
they
at
moved up
55
to the
points.
like London area. Um, who's currently two? Mount Bridges?
Exeter is number two
Oh, the
at
Hog.
50, and Mount Bridges is number three in that division at
Okay.
49 points. The
Oh, so
Port
it's all
Stanley Sailors are fourth for everyone that wants to know.
Port Stanley.
And then
Wyatt Stokes used to play there. Essex legend.
North Middlesex Stars, Sean Shanahan, his team is fifth in their division at 45 points.
Yeah, Sean's doing really well since moving there, so I'm happy
Good.
for Shanny.
Good boy, Shanny.
mm,
This week coming up, the Essex 73s are going to host the Amherstburg Admirals at the Essex Center Complex on February 4th. Then they're going to have a week off. They're going to play February 11th at home against Dresden before capping off the night
Mm.
with capping off the regular season with a game at Lakeshore on February 14th. Any thoughts on those remaining 3 games, boys?
It might be Valentine's Day, but no love will be lost there.
For sure. We're going to be doing the Spitz game that night, so
See what I did there?
I feel like
that's true. I'll get you guys a heart-shaped pizza.
promise.
Uh,
Hey, I deliver.
yeah. Well, I gotta say though, Lakeshore, they're doing a good job. They're slowly chipping away at that Essex first place. If
Dude, I never count them out ever.
no, no.
Yeah.
You can't.
Guess what?
As hmm
That's just Lakeshore, man. They don't give up. Trevor
For sure.
LaRue puts the team on his back. And Eric Bisson. I gotta give Bisson credit. He's good. And
Nick
Marco.
Ricotti's been very good for them too.
Yeah.
hmm
So as of this recording, Essex has 39 games played, 34 wins, 4 losses, and the one shootout loss for 69 points. Lakeshore, 38 games, 32 wins, 6 losses, and 64 points. So Lakeshore has 4 games remaining. Uh, Essex only has 3 games remaining. So Essex has a 5 point lead in the division. So
So,
who knows?
Essex, if Essex gets 1 point, they win the division. Like, if they get 1 point in their they
Can
have to
you
win
can
two
you
and get
start
one
your
point is basically
can
what
you
I'm saying.
sorry, you glitched a little bit. Can you just restart your point?
So if Essex wins two of their next two games and then earns a point in a loss,
Yeah.
they would clinch.
Yeah, they're 5 points up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's always down to the wire.
guess what? You can win the next two, but that means you have to beat Lakeshore, no?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they've got that extra game played, right? They could run the table.
Oh, but
And
no,
then
but
one of them's head
Essex's
to head.
loss is
So
a OT loss. It's a shootout loss. So we would still hold the first. Lakeshores are all regulation, no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so we'd be good. Still
hmm
gotta win these next two though. Like we can't lose again to
Amherstburg.
Amherstburg and then go and drop 2 points in Lakeshore. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but we've split with them on the road this year, so
hmm
and we haven't played there in a while. Since
Yeah, since that
2 years.
night that
So
we played up there, that we went and watched, right? That was all the way in like November, wasn't it?
no, they played January 3rd and
Oh,
lost.
you're right. Sorry.
It was 5-3, I want to say. Yeah, 5-3 loss.
Lakeshore has 4 games remaining. They play Walpole Island twice this week, and then they
Oh,
have
Fiddly D. Look out.
Moortown on Wednesday the 12th, and then they play Essex on Friday the 14th. So
Watch John Chartrain go on a tear again and take out Lakeshore.
The last
Let's
time that
go,
Lakeshore
John.
played Walpole was on Monday in that outdoor game at Lansbury Park in Windsor there. It was
But
so cold I could not go. That
yeah,
wind
but
was so crazy. I don't
yeah,
like
but that was sweet though that they actually played there.
yeah, it looked
Well,
really cool. The jerseys looked really nice. Lakeshore beat Walpole 12-1.
yeah,
Hmm.
that was my adjoining point.
Mhm.
Yes. So
I mean,
Walpole,
I
yeah.
feel bad for Walpole Island because it's like it's a really nice spectacle, and to get shellacked like that probably doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Just saying, like,
Cool memory, but yeah.
yeah, and then you had to do team photos and stuff after. Like,
That's like asking Moortown to come in on on like a Monday night kind of thing. That's a tough road trip on a Monday
yeah,
to pull that
like
off.
coming on a Monday night, like you just got done school in the day and you're like, oh, let's play the defending Schmaltz
Mhm.
Cup champions.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel, but credit to Walpole. It seemed like they were pretty good sportsmen about it, and I like them.
it would be
Mhm.
super
Yeah, yeah.
cool if you could get like an Essex and Lakeshore game, but obviously it would be you wouldn't want one of their games to be like a gimmicky game like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
No, and it might.
I think it would be cool, but
I think it would be cool.
I wouldn't want important 2 points to go on and there'd be like controversy about well, it went off the side of the net and then it bounced off Timmy's shoulder and then you know what I mean? Like
No, we got to start the PJHL Winter Classic
there you go.
and have them play in football. Well, is no, there's no real multi-purpose.
You should just have the PJHL All-Star game at Lansbury Park each year.
Bring them all down.
What if you threw a rink on one of those football fields?
That's what was thinking about. That'd be too much money. They don't want to spend that much money just for a PJHL game.
Yeah. It's a cool idea, but
Yeah,
That would be
you got to
sweet.
be realists.
That
for
would be
sure.
sweet though.
It's a good idea, though, Ant. It's a good idea. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be a lead balloon here.
No, I know. I
For
get
sure.
it.
If that's it on the PGHL, did you guys want to talk about the Brantford situation?
Yeah, dude. Like,
So, as far as I know, I don't know a whole lot of the details, but there's a situation in which a goaltender in the Brantford 99er system was being bullied about something. Do you guys know anything more about that?
so, dude, like, first off, I don't want to say his name because he is like
Yeah.
underage, but to him, I just want to say, first off, I'm sorry that you even had to go through that. Number one.
Hmm.
Um, these guys got to get these kids that were doing this shit, like, get these kids out of here. Like, dude, he's trying to get,
I can't even begin
dude,
to think why a whole team, like there was like 14 kids in that chat.
that's ridiculous,
How do
dude.
you get that mob mentality and how does no one stand up? Like I gotta say it, shame on those parents of those kids. They did something wrong.
Something
Not only
happened.
that, the coach.
He was like trying to
If
get
no one
dressed.
stands up for this poor guy
Yeah.
while
Dude,
he's getting ripped online and in person from the sounds of it, that's terrible.
I read some of those shots there, the fucking screenshots, and like disgusting behavior, dude. Like he's trying to get dressed, he's turning around, they're throwing shit at him in the locker room, shooting shots at his head when he's out on the ice. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? That's your goalie, dude. So
Bad.
luckily he ended up getting away from all these assholes and went and
There's
played in a
there's
different
becoming a problem
organization.
in hockey like that,
Mhm.
minor hockey, where it's this, there's a level of uh, arrogance, ignorance, and I don't even know what to call it.
Just
Um,
like just
Asinine
vitriol. Yeah.
behavior where they just get away with it. And it's that mentality, it's parenting.
Mhm.
There's no discipline at all. They
I'm
fear
not
no repercussions at all. Not only for themselves, but it seems like the idea of walking a mile in someone else's shoes is just a lost cause.
yeah.
It's really sad. Like I'm getting a little bit emotional about this right now. I can't even imagine what that poor guy is going through.
Mhm.
Um, he can't win. The world's closing in on him,
Yeah.
and people are doing that. And those are the kind of people who usher people into wanting to take their own life.
Hmm.
And guess what? If you do that, you're the scum of the earth.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think it's really I think that's as fair and like compact that you can make that without branching off and going on to different you know what I mean? Like you can go after the character a whole lot, but I think you said it as eloquently as you can say it, right?
Yeah, you can just always know, especially through text. Obviously, these were very obviously meant to hurt this guy, but tone of voice doesn't pass through text. And that's why I think only use social media if you really know the person, because always talk to someone face to face. You want to get your message across clearer. I've learned that the hard way. You can hurt people real bad if they don't know where you're coming from.
Hmm.
And it's always better to just talk it out with somebody. And especially for that kid too, make those guys think what they're doing, right? Ask them, why are you doing this to me? Don't text them that. Say it to their face. And maybe say it when someone else of authority is around,
Yeah.
so they figure out real quick, oh yeah, why am I doing this? It's really too bad. And the fact that this happens in like unsupervised situations, that's another thing is there's no positive influence in these kids' life if they're just enjoying persecuting somebody else.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
there's
Where's this
obviously
coaching
not a
staff?
lot
Like,
of
what are we doing here?
yeah, like there's obviously not a lot of leadership in the room going on if that's what's
No,
happening.
no,
Like, it's
no.
fucking
And
brutal.
I mean, it's probably their captain that's doing it too.
I would
Those
kick
guys who
my
think,
kid's
oh,
ass,
the kid's
bro.
got heart. No, he's not. He's just cocky because he's 12 years old playing AAA,
Bro,
and
I
mom
would.
and dad pay for him to be there, so he thinks he's all that. I've seen it before, time and time again. It's a culture that's surrounding itself around minor hockey. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the trend of it. I never even played in it, but I've seen guys who play in it. It changes kids. Good
Mhm.
kids become bad people, unfortunately.
I'd
Yep.
kick my kid's ass, man, for doing shit like that.
Yeah,
I'd lose
well,
it.
one day, if and when I do have kids, discipline is like, guess what? I was raised with the mentality of spoil the child and spare the rod, you know?
Hmm.
I got disciplined, and guess what? If I didn't have the parents that I had, I probably could have turned out to be a little bit more hyperactive, but nonetheless, I'd like to think I turned out okay. And it's part and parcel with parents who are
Hmm.
involved in my life. And if you're a parent listening to this, always keep tabs on your kid. And always intercede where like obviously you want to let kids, kind of understand the world on their own, but guess what? When it comes to new things and new situations, you gotta be helped there as a guiding light. Like
Hmm.
you can't just let them, oh, they'll find their way, or oh, my kid's so good. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, you don't really know what's going on. That's why it's good to have that relationship and be as close as possible. Um, no matter what it is in life, not just sport, but everything.
Hmm.
I
Also,
agree.
too, for the record, when he went over to his new team in his first game, he got a 5-0 shutout win. So
Yeah, let's
Hey,
go.
let's give sick taps to
just,
that young man.
just
Yeah,
saying,
100%.
just saying. So
Good.
their loss.
I've always been of the mindset that no one that is doing better than you will ever talk shit about you.
Hmm.
No, you're
So just
100%
put
right.
it just put that in your pocket next time someone's criticizing you or someone's, just being overly
Yeah.
rude for no reason. That's what I always think. Anytime being an asshole to me, I'm like, okay. Like I am like
Mhm.
sometimes,
Dude,
obviously in life, sometimes you deserve to be ripped a little bit, but
Jealousy,
other times I'm like,
jealousy and
more about you
envy,
than me.
mhm.
jealousy and envy are two things that corrupt people more than anything else.
Yeah.
You think about that in any applicable way, financially, um, personally, as well as we saw with this kid. Clearly, he was doing something right, and all those kids just decided to gang up on him. Which how
Mhm.
that even happens, I don't even know because I've seen it, but just not to that degree. Like there's always
Dude,
somebody. to
I
say,
coach a fucking U8 team, and the first thing that I drill into their heads is be a good teammate.
yep.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
And not only that, back to my point about parents and how you raise your kids to be the one to stand up and speak up. Let them know that their name means something. That's what I was told. Be confident. Don't put up with bull crap. Stand up
Mhm.
and say, guess what? That's not going to slide. And you'd be surprised how quick people shut up.
mhm.
All it takes is one voice. Guess what? For every 10 people, there's 9 followers and 1 leader. You can change a whole room just by saying one thing. Challenge the person who's the ringleader, and when they step down, guess what? Their cronies will go away too. Don't be
Boom.
afraid to challenge other people when they're in the wrong.
Mhm.
Mhm. For sure.
Yep, that's it, folks. Yeah, on that. Yeah, but
Beautiful.
yeah, like I said, I just wanted to, you know, we had to chat on that. That's
No,
why.
for sure. It's a step too far, and several steps too far. And
Mhm.
I'm glad that the situation was taken care of, and I'm glad that that young person is doing better in their new situation.
Right on.
For sure. For all of us here at the HTH podcast, thank you for tuning in. Unless anyone else has last words, right?
All set.
All
Just
set.
stay blessed. Yeah. Be positive and invest into other people's life. Simple smile makes a difference.
And
Absolutely.
don't
Be a
be a
friend. It
dick.
takes a second. Don't be a dick. Don't call your friend a senior citizen in the opening of a podcast, okay?
Yes. It's all good though. I still love you.
All right, good. I love you guys too. We'll talk soon. It's been a good week.
Yep.
We'll be in the know. All right, from all of us here at HGH, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time on the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast. Good night, folks.
Have a good night.
I lost my fight.